Welcome to This Week in Real Estate with Jonathan Harmon and Bryan Nale, your local experts on all things real estate in Middle Tennessee. Listen in as they discuss the current state of the market, the latest trends, and have a little fun while doing it. We do want to say the opinions voiced on this podcast are for general information only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individuals.
Oh, that was perfect timing. I was whispering just right.
We're not doing the show in whispers, Jonathan.
Dang it. We've been over this so many times, and I still want to do it. Okay, fine.
Well, hey, man, it's been a minute.
Hey, I'm Jonathan.
Brian.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Again.
Yeah.
I feel like I've known you for a while. Like, you look familiar.
If you're watching for the first time, we do this show every Thursday, except the last 3 weeks. we have not done it.
And you know, I would be like, yeah, it's Brian's fault, because a lot of times it is Brian's fault. But this time, it was Brian's fault, then it was my fault. And then I think it was my fault again.
I think so.
I think it was.
I'm not going to give you a hard time either, man, because I've been there and we'll be back. Guess what? In 2 weeks, I'll be on a trip.
There you go. See? Perfect.
All right.
It's good to be back. It's good to talk real estate. I'll tell you what, man, the market.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah.
It's somebody's birthday.
It is?
I thought you were going to save it for a shiny penny, man.
Today's your birthday?
It is my birthday.
Really?
Yeah. July 2nd.
I didn't know that. My birthday's in 2 weeks.
I know.
How did I not know that?
I don't know.
Oh, Trent, me and you should sing to him.
We had Stevie Blair when he
I came in. They were doing a big happy birthday thing, and he had that playing, and I was like,
You say it's your birthday.
play any of those things during the show, and we'll get a copyright flag, and we can't air the show.
Well, happy birthday, man.
Happy
we love you,
birthday.
dude.
Today.
Appreciate it. Today.
What are you, 28?
29.
29?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
My father once said that he would stop having birthdays and he would have an anniversary of his 39th birthday.
Love it. No, I started the day going out and running 5 kilometers. Went to Believers in Business.
You know what? You're cut off. You ran.
Went to a closing. Now I'm here. I mean, this day's gotten off to a freaking awesome start. I love it.
All right. Well, this show's over. Brian's life is charmed. The rest of us are not.
Funny story. I had my son who runs cross country, begrudgingly, does not want to. I had him talked into running with me this morning for my birthday, right?
Did he smoke you?
No, he didn't get out of bed. But I was going to cut the grass for him tomorrow morning so we could have a good clean yard for the 4th of July party we're having. But I was going to do that for him if he was going to run with me today. He didn't get out of bed, so guess who's cutting the grass right now?
Anderson, I'm looking at you, big guy.
Boy, it is hot out there, too.
Oh, that didn't work out too well there, did it, buddy?
He had his chance.
Running before it's 1,000,000,000 degrees or cutting the grass
That's right.
when it's literally 100 degrees.
Yeah.
Hey, drink some water, man. Drink
a lot of water.
Hydrate.
Yeah,
Yes,
no
sir.
doubt.
All right, I'm going to step off. Here we go.
Okay. Well, thank you for. I don't know how I didn't know that, but that's interesting. So anyway, sorry about that. Happy birthday, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. So we got a show today. We're going to start our headlines today. We're going to just kind of catch up. We're going to dive into some numbers. Trent's got some charts pulled up. We're going to talk about that and just what the real estate market is doing. And it's confirmation really of what we've been talking about. So Trent, do you want to go ahead and pull that chart up?
Right after this.
It's obvious I don't remember how this show flows. So anyway, pull that chart up. We're going to talk about this a little bit, but and Brian, that's impossible to see on that screen, so we can look at this one. But basically, I don't know if you guys remember, but several years ago, when we were starting the show, we were talking about how the momentum that we had, say 2020, 2021, even into a little bit into 22. The momentum was such that I said, I don't think that we'll stop. Remember, we talked about the moving sidewalks, right? Like we're running down a moving sidewalk, and then we get to the end of the moving sidewalk, and at some point, when you get off that moving sidewalk, it feels like you hit a brick wall, but you're still walking forward, and that's what the market would feel like, and that's kind of where we are right now. So, typically there's a seasonality to things. And that seasonality would start. I always tell people the spring selling season starts whenever it gets warm and people think it's going to stay warm. So you can just set it up here if you want. So sometimes that is March. Sometimes it's April. Sometimes it goes all the way to May. It just depends because our weather's a little crazy here, right? This year, I believe that our spring selling season kind of started at the end of March, went through April and then June. Now, the other thing that's historical is that it'll end about the end of June. We'll see a little taper off for July. And then August is typically our slowest month of the year. Our second slowest month of the year is typically February. And a lot of that revolves around school year. People want to get settled before kids start back to school, which now is at the beginning of August. And so we don't see a lot of movement in August. Well, this year has been a little bit different. So what you've got up on the screen right now is a comparison. It's a rolling 30-day comparison. Oh, thanks, Trent. Between May 2nd to June 2nd, and then June 1 to July 1, okay? And so a couple things. Number one, new listings hitting the market. From May to June, 763. This is just Rutherford County single-family homes. 763 from May to June. And then that dropped off from June to July. And it dropped off pretty sharply, 12% drop in new listings from that for those two 30-day windows. And that's probably early. Usually you would still be ramping up and have a solid, at least flat May and then June. This time it went ahead and dropped off. So that ended early. The spring selling season ended early. Part of that is when we look at the new under contracts, it was up a little bit, but our total active inventory was also up about the same amount. So what that means is stuff has stuck around. So if our new under contracts went up, we got more houses under contract in that month, but our overall inventory is up. That means other houses stuck around longer. Under contract inventory, you can see it says it's down 7%, but it's, at that point it's roughly the same, right? Total inventory, again, roughly the same, slightly up. And then our closings were down as well. So basically we're flat. And then look at your sales price as well. So your average sales price and even your median sales price, both of them showing at a 0. But then also notice how narrow the gap is between average and median. That's a very telling sign. When, in markets past, we've seen that gap be $100,000, $200,000 between average and median. And that's because averages are affected by outliers. Medians are not. And the narrower those gaps are, the fewer outliers there are, right?
Interesting. Yeah.
So in this case, there's not a ton of outliers.
That means that there's not a lot of really expensive listings, but it also means there's not a lot of like super cheap things either.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So this is on sales, right?
Yeah.
So not just on listings. This is on the actual what is selling right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so there's not a lot of outliers. Now, it could be, and we could dive deeper into these numbers, it could be that the people that have the more expensive listings didn't sell them and they pulled them. I know, for example, there is a house on East Main Street, stunning, beautiful house on East Main Street that was listed for a very long time. Gorgeous place. Pulled it off of the for sale market and it's for rent right now. Our friends over Scott Abernathy and his group have it up for rent. So, that would be one that was that could have affected that, but won't.
But didn't because it never sold.
Correct. And if you guys remember the last show that I did, we talked about the number of properties being pulled off of the market was up. You guys remember that conversation? More houses were pulled in the month of, I believe that one was referring to the month of May, nationwide than have been pulled since the pandemic. So the month that the pandemic hit was the highest number, and this past May was only second to the month the pandemic hit for houses being pulled off the market.
That's fascinating.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So people they're giving up, right? They're giving up. So average days on market, let's look through there. The one that to me is the most telling, go down to that list to close. It's the second to last one. How long does it take to sell your house? On average, we're looking at 88 days from the day you list it to the day you close it. Okay. Now, the number that a lot of folks worry about is that list to contract number. right? And you see that one, 48 days was the average there, and that number was up just a little bit. And then the one that I always like to monitor as well, that months of supply, that very last number there, we're at 3.59 months of supply. If you've ever watched this show, we've talked about this 100 million times. The historical number that is an even market, seller versus buyer, an even market, this would be a 7. But the way that we've kind of microwaved things, I feel like that even market has shifted downward, and it's probably somewhere more like 4.5 to 5, somewhere around there. So we're still a little bit in a seller's market according to this. And here's my proof of that. Okay. We're starting to transition, but here's the proof is that we haven't seen tremendous drops in sale price yet. Okay. Right. And if you look at our list price, is list price on this? It's not. Yeah, there you go. Average list price, 605. And then our average sale price is 509. That's a big gap. But when we dive into those numbers, you'll find that people are not reducing their price by more than about 8 or 10% a lot of times. And that number will get a lot bigger once we shift into a buyer's market. Where we're seeing the changes first is in concessions. So seller paid closing costs, things like that. And then we start to see it in price. And we're starting to see it in price. We're flat. And then it'll dip as well. It'll soften a little bit, I think. And especially the longer that rates stay up, which, you can speak to that. So anyway, that's kind of where we are. The other thing I wanted to show you, Trent, if you can go to that timeline. And yep, right there. Nope. Go back to pricing trends. Click the drop down on pricing trends. Go down to showings. And then, yep. Yep. There you go. That's my boy. Okay. So this is, I love that this is available now. Let's just put it this way. So Real Tracks, I don't know, what are we, 5 years ago, introduced their own showing center. So you can book showings as a real estate agent. You can book your showings directly through Real Tracks instead of a third party. And the adoption rate of this is finally high enough that this is a market representative number of what the overall showing activity is. And understand, we can list a house, then it has to show, then we have to negotiate a contract, and then we get to a closing. So this is like the leading indicator of what the market's gonna do. Does that make sense? So notice our trend here. That lowest point on this chart, this is a 1-year look back. That lowest point on the chart is December. Okay, makes sense, right? And you see it start to ramp up. You see it keep going up, up, up. Trent, drop your arrow down just like right to that dot. Yeah, there you go. So this is the peak of the year, and that's in May. Okay, this is Rutherford County only. 4,324 showings total in the month of May. Slide over. I'm sorry, March, not May. March. Slide over. So again, when did I tell you the spring selling season started? It was in March, right? April, basically flat, right? 0.2% or whatever higher. May fell off in total number of showings, which is crazy. May should not fall off in total number of showings. That should not happen. And then go from May to June, and it slid just a tiny little bit lower. So we're on our way down as far as total number of showings. This is buyer apathy, y'all. This is buyers disengaging from the market. Right? This is what's going to lead to price drops, fewer closings, all of those things, because they're not looking at the houses. That number should have kept going up, and it dropped off instead.
It's interesting because I look at this from an interest rate timeline and stuff, and in February we had really good rates, like lower rates.
And look at what the showings did.
And look at what showings did. There was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of it was kind of an early spring buying season because we were coming out of those low rates. And then somewhere around in there, we got into the conflict with Iran, and
everybody paused,
and everything just kind of paused, and activity showings has tapered off since then. If we can now rates, I'll say this: the last we're sitting around 6-week lows on interest rates. If we can keep that trajectory going.
But we've blown the seasonality. Now we're moving to July. Right. Nobody's going to want to move at the beginning of August.
Well, if we get rates low enough, they will. But
What's that number?
I don't think that we can get rates that low, not that quick. So
well, and if you're watching this, and if you are rate sensitive, no, you can take the chart off. If you're watching this and you are rate sensitive, so let's talk about that for a second. This is practical advice that you need to know. Okay, if you sat out the spring selling season in order to wait for rates to come down, and rates are dropping, and you're sitting here going, yeah, but I don't really want to move. I want my kids to start at the school that they're going to go to. Rutherford County does allow you to start at the school that your kids will go to if you have an accepted purchase and sale agreement. So if you get under contract in the month of July and you have that contract, you can use that as a means for them to start at the new school.
So don't think it's all everything's lost at this point. You can still get under contract. You got until early August when school starts to get a contract, and then you can apply for the school that you're going to be zoned for after the move happens.
Yep.
That's great information. That's a pro tip.
That's a pro tip.
Bonus pro tip right there.
Ta-da!
All right. Well, that's some great stuff, man. Quick rate update. We are seeing some improvement in rates over the last week or so. So we can only hope that trend continues. I think it'd be good for sellers for that to continue. It'd be good for buyers for that to continue. I do think where I thought you were going to go with what you were just saying is, even once the school year has started, if rates are starting to trend lower and you can take advantage of the seasonality not being a hot season and lower rates, August, September could be a good time to strike.
Absolutely.
If schools isn't important to you, or you don't need to worry about, moving with kids that are in school.
Maybe you homeschool, maybe you private school, maybe
you're an empty nester, maybe you don't have kids yet. Whatever. There could be, because for a while we thought seasonality was dead, and then when rates came back higher, okay, well, seasonality came back with that. So that means you can pick some spots. You can't time the market perfectly. Nobody ever can, whether you're buying stocks, real estate, whatever. But you can use some of that knowledge to your advantage.
You get close,
and well, you can anticipate.
Yeah.
And maybe maybe there's external factors that make that not work out, but you can use that data to kind of position yourself to be ready to make a move, right? Where you're going to be shopping in August or September, because there's also things pick back up in October a lot of times,
even in September sometimes
for whatever reason. If August is the slowest month, there's always this little rebound right before the end of the year where people start to think, you know what, I want to be in my new home before Christmas.
That's right.
Or Thanksgiving,
or I want to get it done so that I can move during that break, and my kids can have a semester. Yeah. Right. And here's the other piece of that pro tip. Again, if none of that matters to you, there's going to be, we saw the residual inventory. There's going to be houses on the market in August where everybody's like, where the people that are listing it are like, oh crap, we're out of the selling season, and they're going to be ready to make a deal. If they have to sell, they're going to be ready to make a deal. That's a good point. So let's talk about that. That is an excellent time for you to strike. Speaking of deals, Trent, I do want to go back to that real quick. Go back in there and go over to search for me. No, we're switching to pull up a listing. Go to search. Let's go Rutherford County. Residential. Yep. I don't know. Click in one of those. Oh, you're in Rutherford County. Okay. Scroll up. I don't know. Hit search again. No, yeah, that's fine. Listing search. Beautiful. Okay. Rutherford County. I want to talk about the best deal I have listed right now, and you guys are dumb for not paying attention to this. 3527 is the street address. Lantern. There you go. Search it. Y'all, this house right here, this house is stunningly gorgeous. It is 2,900 square feet. We're at $175 a square foot on this house. It has new carpets, an open floor plan, beautiful kitchen. Look at the hardwood floors. It's main bedroom down, and then 3 bedrooms up. It's got 2 bonus rooms. It is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And this market's screwy because stuff gets overlooked, and then it ages a little bit, and people just continue to overlook it. And I think that's the situation we have. So that picture right there in the middle, that's the loft at the top of the stairs. So that's 1 bonus room, and then scroll up 1 more, and then that's the other one that's fully enclosed. So it's got 2
bonus
good sized bonus rooms. Scroll down, Trent. Yep. It is directly, it is across the roundabout from the community pool. Right there. Yeah, exactly. It's across the roundabout from the community pool. It's a gorgeous house. And I think we've just been kind of a victim of circumstance as far as the timing of it. So you can see the lake right across the road from it, from that bottom picture. And then the pool is to the right of that. So it's right there. This house is awesome. Here's the thing. We are under contract. The sellers of this house are under contract to buy another house. We have to sell this one in order for them to buy. And we have dropped the price. It's not because the house is bad. It's because we need to sell it. And hey, Trent, go to the property description. X that out and go to the property description real quick. And Trent, in your best narrator voice, read that first little bit of the paragraph for me, would you?
Below is all the fluffy stuff. Read it. It's great. But here's the bottom line. We have a house under contract. They want it, but have to sell this one. It is currently by far the best deal on this side of the county. At this price, we still have $4,000 to play with, closing cost, title, price reduction, home warranty, etc. Plus, our guy Bryan Nale is going to pay 1% towards closing if you use him for mortgage. In other words, the deal could be fantastic. The house already is. If that is not enough to get you to come see it, I don't know what else to do. Now read the pretty stuff below. It's pretty good, right?
I mean, we're just laying it out there, baby. Come on.
You put all the cards on the table.
That's it.
Come make a deal.
$175 a square foot, y'all. I mean, this is crazy.
Steal,
it's so nice. This is such a nice house.
All right.
So anyway, come see it.
3527 Lantern.
We've got an open house there on Sunday, 2 to 4. You can come hang out with me. I mean, I'll buy you a beer. Whatever it takes. I don't care. You can have a free tab at Cedar Glade until maybe that. Let me be careful. For one day, you can have a free tab at Cedar Glade.
Dang, that's a deal, man.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. Let's go. This place is gorgeous, and
we're gonna have to clip that up.
It's pretty cool. So come see that house.
Yes.
All right. That's all I got.
Shiny penny. Wait, no, this is real.
This is real. I can see the little thumb.
Or not, but I saw it again.
I don't think we have.
Oh, no, we definitely have not.
I don't remember it.
Is it alive?
I don't know, but why? Just why? And how does it look so real if it's not?
I mean, it could be taxidermied, right?
Could be.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
I'm so confused.
I'm not speechless many times with this segment, but that's really obscuring the view of the room.
Yeah.
It is the view of the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's alive. This coat is way too shiny.
Does it convey? That would be my question.
That's a great question.
Or is it just walking through the house? What are we doing?
Does the pony convey?
That's a horse.
That's not a pony. That's a full-grown horse. Yeah.
That's like a $200,000 racing horse.
Thoroughbred.
All I can think of is a horse is a horse, of course.
Yeah, that's actually Aunt Ed, Uncle Ed.
Oh man,
Mr. Ed.
Mr. Ed.
That is Mr. Ed.
All right.
His name is Mr. Ed.
All right. On to the next. Shiny penny. All right.
The horse has to convey.
So I've got a really cool closing today, and it's happening out in West Tennessee. This particular buyer used to live in Eastern Kentucky, and for whatever reason had gotten a loan through a credit union, like the UT Knoxville Credit Union. And so when she wanted to buy a house, she went to them to try to get pre-qualified. She needed to go THDA. That particular credit union didn't participate in THDA, so they couldn't do it. I was in the Mortgage Bankers Association Future Leaders program with the girl who got that loan application. So she put it out to the group of us to say, hey, who's qualified to do THCA? I've got something I can send to you. And it came to me, so we got it worked up. THCA actually didn't work out, but we have another program called Click and Close where we can do some down payment assistance. And it's with this program, you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. You can choose different programs where the down payment assistance can be forgiven. So in her case, she took a 3.5% down payment assistance grant. Seller's covering a majority of her closing costs. Her rate's a little bit higher than the market rate for FHA loans, but in 3 years, the down payment will be forgiven. So, her dad was telling her to refinance this thing as soon as you can to get a lower rate. And I said, hey, you might want to hang on to it for 3 years because in 3 years, your down payment assistance is covered. You don't have to,
And we're not talking about $3,000 or $4,000, 3.5%. Depending on what the purchase price is, could be a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah, it can, and depending on purchase price, this was a lower purchase price. So,
Sure.
but money's money, and percentages are percentages.
And money you don't have to pay back is awesome.
Free money.
It's
So,
awesome.
so this was a great program, great way for her to do this, and really the shiny penny is. This particular lady, like it was an FHA manual underwrite. It was not an easy deal to get done. She'd been at her current job for a year, but before that, her employment stability was very, very shaky, and she knows this, right? We had to go back about 5 years and try to piece together a 2-year work history, and we were able to do it through a lot of work and digging and contacting old employers. Some of them were businesses that weren't really operating anymore, had been bought by other companies, and so it wasn't easy.
So it wasn't like that she just job hopped.
Right.
There were circumstances that just kind of made it.
Well, her circumstances were that she was getting out of an abusive relationship and had a baby born with Down syndrome.
Yeah.
So that's why there was a gap. Now, this is a classic example of how on paper, you're running into underwriting headwinds. In reality, she's in a much better position now to be able to afford the payment. Things are good. But this was just this is a good loan. This is a loan that needed to be done, but it was not an easy loan to get done. So the shiny penny there is to be able to help somebody in those kinds of circumstances. And in her particular case, the house that she's buying was the one that they were renting. So the landlord wanted to sell the house. So they had to face this situation where they were going to be, without a place to live. I don't want to use the word homeless because I'm sure they would have landed somewhere. But,
Sure, but it was scary.
Their cheese was getting moved.
Yeah.
So to be able to buy the place, stay in the home for her child who is special needs, to not have to move, they could stay in the school district that she wants to be in. Like that's why they're there. Like this was a great opportunity for them, and I'm so thankful that we were able to help them.
I don't know if this is a full-length feature film, but this is definitely at least an episode of a great feel-good show.
Could be like Seventh Heaven. That show. From the 90s,
it all just kind of came together.
2000s, yeah.
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, thanks.
Way to go.
Shiny penny there. It's
Hey, and
great
congrats to the new homeowner.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's good stuff.
All right. Is that it? We got a pro tip?
Got
officially?
a pro tip, I think. Yeah,
I guess I already gave one.
it was a
want a
bonus pro
bonus?
tip. Go ahead and play the thing, and we'll see.
You.
I'll go to what I talked about at Believers in Business this morning. There's a lot of ways to structure the financing of a home, and getting down to making sure that your lender is asking the right questions is a great thing to do, because sometimes the question might be, hey, can we pull off this move across the state, and do we have to get a job over here in the town they're at? And sometimes, you're trying to figure out if you can use the income maybe from the old job, and not quit that job, keep that job, but drive back and forth on the weekends and stuff. But the question really,
Or you're decentralized and you work from home, or there's all kinds
working
of
from
things.
home you never have to worry about because
Right.
that's a given. But if your commute's going to be too long, then you could run into some headwinds, not be able to count that income. So the question sometimes isn't, can we count that income? Maybe the question is, do you need that income? Can the loan get done with, just the one spouse's income? And so working with a lender who asks the right questions to really understand the full picture of the situation can really be the difference between, a happy experience or an experience that, maybe you were forced into making a decision that you didn't want to make, because the right question wasn't asked.
Yeah, and I think you made me think about something, and that is that a mortgage lender, a real estate agent, a good one on either of those, is more of a problem solver than anything else, right? The reality is people want to sell you a house, and banks want to loan you money. That is their income streams, right? However, there is a process that's involved, and there are boxes that have to be checked in both of those situations, and there are caveats to their desires, right? And so the person, the in between, the mortgage lender or the real estate agent, they're the problem solver that says, here's what we want the end result to be. Here's the hand that we've been dealt. How do we get there? Right? And what's in between there is questions and answers and directions. It's a giant choose your own adventure book. Right? And sometimes, and this is the views of Jonathan Harmon, not Bryan Nale. Sometimes it is just presenting the information in the right way. Right. And it's, I hesitate to say spin, right? But to some extent it's spin. Right. We know that this should work. We know that everything's cool, but you don't necessarily like how we said it. So how can we say it a little different?
Good stuff.
Good show, guys.
Is that a show?
I think any announcements?
Oh, dude, yes. So we've got 2 things coming up at Cedar Glade, and yes, I happen to talk about Cedar Glade a lot. I might have an interest in that. I don't know, perhaps. I like both of you might. So we have 2 big things coming up at Cedar Glade over the next 2 weeks. One is on Saturday we have our annual 4th of July party, and it's going to be huge. Parking lot party. Yes, it's going to be hot. We'll run a sprinkler. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I've figured out a way to, I haven't told you this, by the way, to rig up a shade over the parking lot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Very good.
Our friend Roland Justice is playing on the stage outside. It's a tailgate party, so come and join us. All the tailgate spots have been claimed, but the 1811 pizza truck will be there, and it's going to be a party. It's going to be great.
We could have done a whole shiny penny on the 1811 pizza truck. That's some good food.
Dude, it's so good.
It's good food.
We need to bring some in one day and like eat it on camera so people are like, oh, that looks so good. Anyways, the best part about that party is you can see the Murfreesboro fireworks from our street. It's a phenomenal view of the fireworks with no traffic.
That's a key.
With no traffic. So when it's over and you're ready to leave, you can just leave. You don't have to sit in traffic for an hour or longer. So that's one. But the really fun one, and this could be a total disaster, and it probably will be, but it's going to be great. So if you want to watch a train wreck unfold and come join us for this one, July 18th, Saturday, July 18th, starting at 1 o'clock, we are hosting the very first, as far as I know, in Murfreesboro, bring your own pool party.
Oh, snap.
Yes, exactly. So you heard that right. It is exactly what it sounds like. You show up to Cedar Glade. We'll be out in the parking lot. You bring whatever vessel it is that you would like to dip yourself into.
Oh, yeah.
An old satellite dish, a pickup truck with a tarp lining the bed, a watering trough. I really don't care what it is. I have access to the fire hydrant. I confirmed that yesterday. And we will fill up your pool. You'll get to hang out in your pool, drink beer. We have music from Whiskey Hollow, who is phenomenal, by the way. They're a wonderful group here locally, and it's gonna be a party.
I love that.
So it's a pool party that you bring your own pool.
It's so cool. What a neat idea.
Love it. Good show, guys. Y'all really did it. All right, let's wrap this up. Appreciate y'all.
Please
Happy
bring it in
birthday,
for a
Bryan.
The shock on his tone of voice. Y'all really did it.
Y'all really did, man. I'm proud of y'all. All right, we outie.